There appear to be conflicting stories on crime in Erie, ranging from us being one of the safest small towns in the state to us having an increasing problem of crime that is getting serious. What do we need to do to assist our police so our town can remain one of the safest towns in Colorado? So, Christian, you get started.
It is my distinct pleasure to start off with this. You know, statistics about crime are easy to take out of context. Depending on where you look, Erie is either number 9 or 11 in terms of the safest municipalities in Colorado. Colorado is number 1 for auto thefts in the country. Colorado is number 1 for porch pirates in the country. So when you look at large municipalities in Colorado like Aurora and Denver and Lakewood and such, inevitably the increased crime, property crime that comes from those areas extends into Erie. So yes, some segments of property crime in Erie are up. However, since the peak in 2020, which is what some of the websites that report up about generally A or B plus kind of grades, please look at the Erie's annual report from 2021. In most categories other than property crime, those stats are down. I appreciate so much the effort of our chief of police in hiring an amazing police force, and I look forward to working with them to address these issues.
So if we look at the way that the crime statistics are run, it's based on per capita. Obviously, we've had a rapid growth. Now we're about 32,000 residents here in town. So when we're talking about per capita, yes, we might be flatlined in terms of the number of crimes. However, because of the volume of crimes against that population, it's actually gone up. We have more crime. One of the things is that we have certain areas where they actually have more crime because they're more convenient to I-25, to 287, to Colorado 7. So there are some neighborhoods where it has seen a large increase compared to other neighborhoods. So when we're talking about how do we resolve this, it's really about providing the PD what they need. So I've heard through the grapevine that the PD isn't able to come to the board about what they really need. One of the issues is also within the past 2 years, they've had issues on actually attaining the hires that they had budgeted. So it's really providing what they need as the resources instead of sitting there and saying, what can we realistically provide you?
So it is true that there is an increase in crime in Erie, property crime, and that's because there are more properties in Erie and that lends to more opportunity. The good news is that crime is not growing at the rate of population. I've heard directly from Chief Stewart that she is able to come to the board, and the board has been extremely supportive when she has asked for things. And it's my priority to maintain that good working relationship with the Erie PD. I really appreciate their outreach that they've developed with residents in just informing us on how to mitigate our own risk by closing our garage doors and locking our car doors and making sure that we're empowered to look out for one another. And it's my priority to support the Erie PD going forward as a trustee.
So I'd be shocked to hear if anyone up here would not support the Erie PD. I certainly do, and I think they're doing a phenomenal job. Yes, nominal numbers are up with population. As we know, rates are down or flat. What I want to communicate most of all is the wonderful relationship that Chief Stewart and the police department have with the current Board of Trustees. The current Board of Trustees has funded pretty much everything that the police department has come to them with, and even to the point that right now we still struggle to get all police positions filled, but it's not for lack of funding. It's for lack of applicants and ability for them to live here. So yes, I 100% support the Erie Police Department.
I think the question's well said. There is a conflict. I'll speak to that first. I live in Collier's Hill, and I had my car broken into, and they opened my garage door, and it was absolutely terrifying. I also heard about the incident in Erie Highlands, and most recently the gas station being looted. But at the same time, I let my kids play in the street. I let them go to the park. I trust my neighbors. I think our neighborhoods are amazing and friendly, and it's a big reason why people live here. So Erie is a safe town in general, but I think we're slipping in our rankings, and therein lies the conflict. So I'm friends with the police officer in a different town, and in no uncertain terms, he explains that they are much better funded than Erie. So I think we need to hire more of them, pay them more, and just increase the funding. And again, it goes back to a budget and revenue generation so that we can do these things and support them more and have them focused on the right things and keep our neighborhoods friendly and safe.
So I think one of the key things that I'm hearing is crime is up everywhere, and I don't think that's an answer for how do we solve this. I think we are currently authorized to have 44 officers for a town of 31 to 32,000 people. That number is derived from calls for service, which I've learned through the chief and through the community policing academy that I'm a part of. I think we need to reassess that. The town is quite large. Residents are spread out pretty far apart. The chief had also asked about getting an outstation at 9 Mile, just because if she's at one side of the town, getting to the other side for a call is extremely hard. So I think we do need to look at how do we provide more to our police department to be able to solve this. You know, they're doing a fantastic job, but they can't be at all places at once. I think it is important that we be diligent and keep an eye on things. I'm encouraged that people are acknowledging that the numbers are trending upward, which again is a troubling thing, but we need to solve it. And I'm thankful for everything the police does, and I want to ensure that as a trustee, I'm giving them all the resources and help I can.
Hi, yeah, so Erie is still one of the safest and most family-friendly places that we can live in this area, and I'm pleased to be living here, and I'm glad that my kids feel safe when they're outside in the street. But still, it is a concern to me that we do have an increase in these property crimes, especially there was an 80% increase in car break-ins, 66% in thefts, and 35% increase in porch piracy. My next-door neighbor even had his truck broken into, and he came to us asking if our camera on the front of our garage could help him to get some information about what had happened. It's very disturbing. I think these are crimes of opportunity, and so we need to look at what we can do. And I think what we can do is crime prevention through environmental design. It's kind of a holistic approach that is increasing awareness with neighborhoods, working with neighborhoods to get a neighborhood watch set up, working with police so that we can have community resource officers, and making sure that they have the funding to do what they need to do. Thank you.
So in the last 15 or so years, the town of Erie has tripled in size of population. We have not tripled in size of the number of crimes. So as was said before, crime is a per capita number. So if you have 6 car break-ins and you go to 8 car break-ins, that's a 33% increase. It sounds much scarier than it really is. And as the number of people are here, as the number of people passing through town increases, you are going to have those crimes of opportunity. And one trend that we have now that we didn't have 15 years ago is the trend of people utilizing technology to catch people in the act. You have cameras on most houses, you have footage being shared among neighbors, you have footage being sent directly to the police department immediately, and a lot of these crimes are actually being solved. So over the last 6 years, every budget request that has come from the police department has been approved. I personally advocated for 2 additional positions for the police department in the last year, and those were both supplied enthusiastically by the Board of Trustees. So we support the police and we believe in what they're doing. Thank you.